Subplot to this cup tie. Both clubs have been in the market for forwards this week. But the biggest stage for an FA Cup tie this weekend, the biggest crowd of the third round, and the loser will certainly be the biggest casualty of the third round. There'll be an empty feeling in the losers' dressing room tonight and an empty trophy cabinet again. The stakes so high for the first hand that's been dealt to Newcastle and Aston Villa in this season's AXA-sponsored FA Cup. Two teams with different shapes. Bobby Robson has favoured 4-4-2 at home, although both fullbacks are adaptable. No natural left-sided player on that flank. Kieran Dyer likely to drop off Shola Amiobi in attack. Andy Griffin will mark the opponent whom Robson thinks may hold the key to the whole game.
David Ginola, I wonder what sort of form he'll be in.
I'll tell you, he loves it here. He'll want to be the best player on the pitch. He'll want to get the winner. He'll want to come off all smiles. He'll be absolutely pumped up for it, no doubt about it. He was a star, really, in a sense, by the public here. They loved him. Of course, then it left him, obviously, you know, feelings change. He'll get booed here, that's for sure. And he won't like it, but it will motivate him. So he's a danger man to us, and we have to make sure that he doesn't see us out of this cup.
Aston Villa always favour three at the back, although both J. Lloyd, Samuel and Steve Staunton are naturally left-sided. Samuel will play on the right. Gareth Barry did come to the club as a midfield player. It's the right attacking blend that Villa are still seeking. How to accommodate the very individual delights of Merson and Ginola. How to make up for the flat disappointment of Wembley last May.
After the team played badly at Wembley in the final last season, this has obviously got to be a very important start for you.
Yeah, it has, Gary. We got so close last year, but didn't really perform in the final itself. And it still hurts us, still ranks with us, and quite a few of the lads that were there on the day are here again today, and they certainly, having had a taste of it, want to get back there and try and do the job properly.
When the draw was made, you must have looked at this game and thought, what a tough one this was.
Well, it's always tough coming here, without any doubt. The fans make it very difficult for the opposing side. We're hoping that they'll make it difficult for the home team, because we came here last year and managed to keep them a little bit quiet than normal, and managed to pull off a 1-0 victory. So we hope we can get the same result today.
Thoughts of the managers. Our manager, Ron Atkinson's alongside me. We've heard a lot about the people who are going to create goals. Who's going to score them today?
Well, Villa have got a 20-goal-a-season man, Dejan Dublin, but they've got to use him right. They've got to get Merson, Stone and Ginola wide to get crosses in. He'll score for them. On the other side, of course, Shola Amiobi, he's got a very hard act to follow, Alan Shearer, and there's a big responsibility on such young shoulders.
Two of the clubs who truly believe they can win the FA Cup. Neither lacks for tradition or expectation. Some silverware would be nice, but there will be no trophy again this season for whichever team loses this time. That's the importance of it. Aston Villa in their familiar claret strip, playing from right to left. Here is Shola Amiobi, who only made his full debut for Newcastle on Boxing Day. And there is Dejan Dublin. Referee today is Paul Durkin, who was in charge of Newcastle's cup final against Arsenal in 1998. He didn't have far to come. He lives in Dorset. That's what you call planning. Warren Barton. Forward towards Amiobi. Southgate clears. Only as far as Bacedas. Boateng penalised. Remember him steaming into Dennis Wise in the first couple of minutes of the final last year, George Boateng. Kieran Dyer. Warren Barton. Speed looking up towards Solano, but dealt with by Staunton. Griffin. Right quickly in. First touch for David Schindler. The first chance for the Geordie fans to remind him where he used to earn his corn. Griffin had a fine game against Ginola in the semi-final at Old Trafford. I remember, Ron, you made him your man of the match that day 2 years ago.
Yeah, he was outstanding. He pushed in against Ginola, and Ginola played as an orthodox left winger. I'm just wondering, Ginola's taken up a left-sided position at the moment. I'm just wondering whether that's going to be the case for the rest of the game, whether Dublin's going to play up the middle on his own, Ginola out on the left, or whether he's going to go on a roving commission eventually.
Barton in towards Amiobi. He endeared himself to the public here when he made his debut as a substitute against Chelsea early in the season by, I was going to say, going eyeball to eyeball with Dennis Wise, but I think Dennis was looking into Shola's midriff. But he's a tough cookie who can look after himself. Firm header by Goma.
I think one of the interesting things from Villa's point of view is the fact that Gareth Barry has been sort of, if you like, pressed into service in the middle of midfield. And yet there is an awful lot of people that think that that will be his best position.
Kieran Dyer has almost reinvented his position in the last few weeks as a secondary Newcastle striker, and he's been in really good form.
Yeah, he's going to be a threat in as much as he's quick, he's lively, he can pick the ball up and go at people. I just wonder whether the newly shaped Villa formation at the back, they're a tried and trusted normally at the back-to-back three. It's a little bit experimental.
Gomar attacking the ball. Amiobi protecting the ball very well. This is Noel Solano. There is a flag up against Gary Speed. I assume it was Speed. Dyer made the initial break on the near side. Here is Gareth Barry. Steve Stone, who is a boyhood Newcastle United and fan, and a very active fan too.
Talking to him before the game, Steve Stone, about how he's enjoying this wing-back position. He said he quite looks forward to it, and he loves being in the team anyway. He can play anywhere to be in the team.
And Griffin Ginola is clearly going to be one of the side issues here, maybe the main issue. Since leaving Newcastle, Ginola has returned to St James's Park on 3 occasions with Tottenham Hotspur and has finished on the beaten side each time.
You know, like all great players, he's got that ego, Ginola, and it looks very much as if Quinn's had a couple of rattles at it. Griffin's had a couple of rattles at him. Got mixed up there, they were going to buy Quinn according to today's paper. And I think that Ginola's going to try and take him on in a personal sense. A little bit of dueling banjos there. Going to try and hurt him with his ability.
Solano. White tracked him all the way, came off the flank with Noel Solano. Charlton Athletic, Everton, and most notably Sunderland have already beaten Newcastle here this season. St James's Park is not impregnable. Aston Villa, who've taken such pride in being difficult to beat home or away, have lost their last 2 games. Both have slipped into mid-table after promising more earlier in the season.
Yeah, it's a massive game, isn't it? You were saying earlier on, it's their only chance now to pick up some silverware, and it is a massive game for 2 giants in the game.
Well, that was loose from Speed, right onto the head of Dion Dublin. It's Gareth Barry who's giving chase, and Steve Harper who wins the chase.
Looking at Gareth Barry there, just made a forward run. I got a feeling that if Villa get forward enough, he'll get a few shots and headers in. Whenever he comes from the back, he always gives the impression that he wants to be having attempts at goal.
He might just see it as a bit of a holiday today. He might actually enjoy the challenge of a new position. Here's Merson linking with Stone.
Nice little layoff there. Not so sure the keeper was as confident as he should have been with that. I've seen it well wide. At the moment, a lot of sparring going on. Both teams trying to condense into the middle of the park. Not a lot of room for the midfield players to get on it.
They'll always ask for it. Doubling down to Stone. Boateng's gone on the outside. Merson has made a run too. This is George Boateng. Cut in Towards Dublin, away by Cunha initially and then by Speed, only as far as Barry. Now Merson. White. Straight to Griffin. Solano. Early on towards Dyer, but well seen by Steve Staunton, who had 7 years with Aston Villa during his first spell with the club, won a couple of League Cup finals before returning to Liverpool, and now back with Aston Villa. Boateng running into trouble in the shape of Acuna. Speed. Now Solano. Griffin offering him an option on the outside. Instead it's cleverly slipped into the path of Dyer, and the ball I think was already out of play before he kicked it back.
The linesman flag was up straight away, Clive. Linesman flag was up well before he crossed it. It's touch and go, he must have good vision. I'm not too sure about that, to be fair. But the linesman's a lot closer than we are.
So it is a goal kick. He picked up a red card at Tottenham on Tuesday, as did Noel Solano, and Bobby Robson very aware of his responsibilities to a young player like Kieran Dyer, trying to father him along to realise his potential and not lose him in the process. Aston Villa was sitting fourth on the table a couple of months back. They've won just one since then. John Gregory has lost his record signing. He's verbally bumped into the man sitting in front of him. His chairman, Doug Ellis. Okay.
It's good to see Steve Stone. He's instantly taken up the challenge. He's pressing forward as much as possible. Obviously, his strengths are all, his biggest strength is going forward. He's got to try and get the top half of the field as much as possible.
It's a good barometer of how well Aston Villa are playing as to how far up the field Stone and Wright are, whether they're playing as essentially fullbacks or essentially progressive midfield players.
Yeah, I think at the moment, I think Wright's having his path blocked a little bit by the fact that Ginola's playing virtually as an orthodox left winger. Whether that'll change in the course of the game, whether he'll get a bit impatient. David being marked and start sort of going inside and looking for the ball.
Here he is. Given away by Barry. Boateng keeping the heat on. Will be first to the throw. Merson into the path of Stone. Now Barry. Merson looking for Dion Dublin. Good save by Steve Harper. Really clawed that one back almost from what looked an inevitable goal after Dion Dublin connected with a cross.
Yeah, great angle crossing, and watch Dion use his power to get on top of the defender, and a great save. But that's what Dublin wants, crosses into the box.
In towards Dublin again, he might run for Barry.
Clive, I've got a feeling if Barry had been totally had a total belief, and they might have had a knock in there. First blood to Villa though, they frightened him. He signalled his intention. Dublin, he's been strong, great save. But I fancied the corner afterwards. I fancied Barry. He might just have gone on it. There it is. Beautiful ball. He's made himself felt there, Dion.
Almost seemed to be past Steve Harper, but he just reached out that strong right arm and knocked it behind for what proved to be a dangerous corner. A waste from Paul Merson.
Strange one that. I couldn't quite see them all for people taking quick, bright free kicks and all that, but I couldn't quite see who he tried to play in there.
Quite an assertive start by Aston Villa.
Yeah, they're not blessed with height at the back, with Alpay not playing. So I think they look very much as if they're trying to squeeze up a lot, the Villa at the back. They've got good pace in the young boy that's come in, J. Lloyd Samuel. He's got good recovery pace. Of course, it does leave the threat of somebody like Speed breaking from midfield, or in fact Kieran Dyer with his pace getting in behind them.
These two sides met a month ago in the Premiership. Noel Solano scoring a late equaliser at Villa Park to maintained Newcastle's excellent record against Aston Villa in recent Premiership encounters. Although, as John Gregory was saying prior to the game, Villa did win here last season. And the return fixture here in the Premiership is the final league fixture of the season in May, which strangely is after the cup final. Sharp challenge by Gary Speed. Stone. Merson. Quite what he intended, but Barry will keep the attack alive and Dublin will try to turn it on. Solano. Now Speed. Merson ambushing him. Now Ginola coming in field. Hello. He'll be 34 later in the month, David Ginola. Rarely out of the headlines again this morning. Suggestions that John Gregory wants him to vacate his North London home and come to live a little bit closer to Villa Park. Just last month, the manager publicly declared that his number 14 was carrying a bit of timber, and slightly overweight. We got a winning or an equalising goal out of him that day. Taking a bit of a chance with Dublin. Solano did slip there. Barry is the furthest man forward for Aston Villa.
I think that's a tactic. I was on about the Villa earlier, about the way Villa are trying to hold a high line at the back. I think it's a tactic that Newcastle will be well advised to employ, because the one thing about Dublin, in the box, anything in the air, he'll deal with. It's a threat. But he hasn't got that great pace. Anything, he can't run over the top for things. I think the Newcastle team would be just as well trying to hold him as high up the field.
Manchester United are already through thanks to a late Teddy Sheringham goal at Fulham. Half-time at the City Ground and the 3 o'clock kick-off this afternoon. It was Nottingham Forest 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. We'll be keeping you in touch with that. And here in our live match on ITV at St James's Park, almost a quarter of an hour gone, it's goalless. Ball was out of play.
At the moment, it's certainly Villa who are showing more willingness to put people through from midfield. Now, they've got a flexible midfield, but Boateng, who you'd think would be the holding player, he's making several forward runs.
Stone running into trouble, but escaping via Gareth Southgate. Staunton. Goma just had a yard on Dublin.
Yeah, if he has a problem, that's it there, and that was quite a good ball from Staunton for a sort of running centre forward. Dan would be the first to admit that's not his favourite sort of service.
Here's Barry. Won it back fairly from Bacedas, who surrendered a little easily there. Stone taking them all on. Doesn't catch Aaron Hughes unaware though.
Still positive though, wasn't it? He's forced the pressure, kept the pressure on.
Here's Steve Stone. Paul Merson's cross. Headed by Aaron Hughes. Not as far as Barry. Now Ginola. Griffin going with him, Ginola holding him off. Good strong run, eventually tumbled on the edge of the penalty area, inevitably looks in the direction of Paul Durkin, who runs away.
He's got such belief in his own ability though, Ginola, and all credit to him. But I think on the end of that run, he's done it once or twice in the game. I think you might see this too much. He's got to be careful he doesn't get dragged into what he'd term a personal battle. He could have had a nice little layoff there and that have kept the continuity going.
Amiobi down to Speed. Offside, Kieran Dyer.
Very disjointed Newcastle at the moment, aren't they? They haven't settled at all.
He came here in the third round of the competition last season with Tottenham Hotspur in a replayed match which Newcastle won by 6 goals to 1. Amiobi striding away. He would have thrown away from Staunton, but for the fact that he was tripped. He has a very individual style, Amiobi.
He's confident to guard Steve, and Steve's just done enough to obstruct him. Great pity was that Alan Wright had made up a lot of ground to double bank. He needed to swept the ball away comfortably.
Solana will take. All sorts of buffeting going on beyond the far post. Gary Speed appealing that his run was being blocked before a free kick could come in. Goma, who jumped in front of Speed and glanced it wide of the mark. Plenty of movement there from Newcastle.
He whips it in, if you like, almost an a la Beckham, and he's a good deliverer. Can't quite get a full head on it, Goma there. Glances it. On another day that would have just nestled in the corner of the net. But he's been quite impressive, Goma. Whenever I've seen him in the past, I've always been quite impressed with him. He's a competitive type of player. And he'll be very important to Newcastle today, trying to win the aerial battles with Dublin.
Bacedas to Solana. Jabbed back by Amiobi. Now Acuna. There's plenty happening to his right, and a handball appealed for and given.
Yeah, it's one of the few occasions Newcastle have strung anything together in midfield. They've been a bit blotted out, a bit indifferent in midfield. Once again, it gives them a chance to build up pressure again. Fella Solano's a very good deliverer of a ball, and they've got people in. I've seen Goma, what he can do. Speed, of course, is always a threat in such situations.
Goma is forward again, as indeed is Aaron Hughes. Headed away by Dion Dublin.
He's absolutely brilliant at that, by the way.
Stone has broken the challenge of Acuna, and there's a break on here. Now Merson. Staunton down the centre towards Dion Dublin, who started all this. And it's Warren Barton who finishes it.
Good football from the Villa, but you'd have to ask yourself, if you're Bobby Robson, where did the heart of his defence go there? I know they've been up for the corner. If Dublin can make the ground, so should they have been able to. There was a great gaping hole in the centre of the defence.
Amiobi. His legs are so long and so far apart, he almost has to pass to himself when he plays it from one foot to the other.
He's looked tidy enough, though, hasn't he?
Speed. It's a good break. And a comfortable take.
Yeah, awful
Dyer's cross.
Awful cross from the corner. If he's got a weakness, and he's obviously got weaknesses, he's got a lot of strengths now. I sometimes think his last ball, his final ball isn't quite as good as you hope it will eventually become. He knocked that great cross in where was it? Stade France, didn't he, against...
For Michael Owen, yeah.
Yeah.
Bacedas. Solano. Bacedas. Right away as far as Kieran Dyer. Double teamed by Wright and Barry. Jabbed into Solano, who is an outstanding cross of the ball. It's a little too long for Speed that time. Dublin to Boateng. Merson to Ginola. Well, it's advantage Griffin at the moment. He's won the first set, the Newcastle right back. Aaron Hughes, accomplished young Irish defender. Noel Solana. On to Christian Bacedas. He did well to keep that in there. Right foot, he smuggled it out. And here's Amiobi. Well, he dummied, and there was nobody quite beyond him.
Did he dummy the ball? And this would be interesting to see what he's dummied it, whether he's tried to just catch it off the back of his heel and play it back into Dyer's path. Super ball, this. Super ball.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe trying to back heel it.
I don't know. I still couldn't make a judgment of it, but I just wonder whether he tried to just nick it back. Saw Canucci do it brilliantly yesterday for Frank Lampard, and I just wonder whether he tried that sort of thing.
Dublin towards Schindler. Well controlled by David Schindler. Steve Stone to his right. In towards Dublin. Well defended by Alain Goma.
Great defending. You saw Dublin there, though. That's what he's good at. People think of him as a big towering header. He's better at getting across defenders. But he's not so good at running after the ball.
Amiobi. Now he's played Dyer in behind Aston Villa. Kieran Dyer, sidestep Samuel, still Dyer, still Dyer. Southgate stood up well. Barton arriving. It's a corner kick. Could have been worse for Aston Villa.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, Kieran Dyer, some superb link-up play again there. Amiobi starting to get into the game now. You wondered, should he have pulled the trigger there? I think he should have tested his left foot there. Overcomplicated. Great recovery defending. But I think Kieran Dyer should have let the thing go off his left side when he cut back inside.
Solano's corner. In towards speed. David James just managed to claw it away. Dyer. Barton. Fancied his chances, but on his unfavoured left foot. Captain for the moment in the absence of Rob Lee and Alan Shearer.
I wonder then whether Amiobi would have been offside. I thought the Villa held the line a bit deep there. I thought they would squeeze more when the ball went back to Warren Barton. Just a little suggestion now. This is a better period for Newcastle. They're getting into the game more, making more things happen from an attacking point of view.
Quarter of this match played, still goalless. 3/4 of the game played at the City Ground, still Forest 0, Wolves 0. Aston Villa throw. J. Lloyd Samuel. Steve Stone. Merson's made a good run. Stone gets his head down and runs into traffic. Ginola. Griffin quickly to him, and that was a very, very rash lunge by Andy Griffin. And now it's advantage Schindler because he's going to be yellow carded. That could be a key moment in that contest. Griffin can't afford another of those.
No, and it certainly would be interesting. I mean, that is a wild tackle. I mean, no matter how much booing you do on that, he's teased him in. He's gone to close him quickly.
And he's hurt too, still down.
When you said it's a key moment, Clive, I just wonder how big a key moment. He's up though. Is he up? No.
I suppose they could switch Warren Barton over there if they felt that he was walking a tightrope against Schindler, but the Frenchman's in trouble for now. So much sympathy for him around St James's Park.
Jim Walker will get him fit. Don't worry about that. Physio will get him fit.
Meanwhile, free kick to Aston Villa. Steve Storden takes, not very well. Hooked away by Amiobi. Schindler is on the field. Alan Wright. Merson has made a break beyond the Newcastle defence. Barry. Kept it in, but was then dispossessed.
Still limping badly, General. John Gregory's just going to have to try and get the SP on him.
Wouldn't think he would want to miss out now that his opponent's got a yellow card to his name. He's not short of motivation this afternoon, David Schindler.
Looks as if he's at odds with himself, doesn't he? As if he's at odds with John, as if he's at odds with the crowd, as if something's getting through to him. I think he's just got to relax a little bit more and enjoy the game. He knows he's got enough natural talent to, at some given time, to make something happen.
It's a long way home from here when you live in North London, though.
It's not so far if you win.
I understand Gary Speed's struggling with an injury to the extent that Gary Newborn is down on the touchline, feels he may have to be substituted. Here is Gary Speed, given away to Merson. Ginola. Beyond Boateng.
I think John Gregory's certainly keeping close tabs on Ginola now. I think there might be a suggestion. That's good from him.
Dyer. Our support from Solano. Good cover from Southgate. Alan Wright. David Ginola. Trying to get beyond Durkin. Thought he was impeded, but referee's not having it.
I know he's got all the experience in the world, Davy, but from time to time I think it'd be better just play 1 and 2 touch before Griffin can get there, and stop encouraging Griffin to come in and have a rattle. Then he'll get his space, then he'll have a chance to pick up and go at him.
Samuel. Merson. Right. Ginola wants it back. Merson. It's a little bit too close together, and here comes that Newcastle substitution that we were anticipating. And a team that is already fielding 3 South Americans is about to introduce another, as Gary Speed, who's been at Wembley the last 3 seasons with this club, limps away. It is Daniel Cordoni, the Argentinian midfield player come front runner, who takes his place.
Just wonder whether Dyer will slot back into midfield. It looks very much as if they're going to play 3 on top at the moment. Push 3 up against the Villa back 3.
Yeah, Cordoni lined up between Amiobi and Dyer for now. Here is Amiobi. Now Solano. Barry. Ginola to his left. Not much to his right yet. Ginola holding off Griffin, trying to go past him. Griffin stuck to his task well, though. He's making it personal too. Pacedas. Solano. Pacedas slipped through. Dyer's onside. James committed. And David James made a very good decision. A goalkeeper who is sometimes criticised for his rashness got that dead right.
That's a great decision. I just thought at this stage, I thought Dyer with his pace was favourite. I'm not too sure Dyer didn't put the brakes on there. It would have been certainly an interesting position for David James if he'd gone a yard closer, Dyer.
Here is Cordoni, the substitute. Now Noel Solano, charged down by the arm of Alan Wright, played it on to the referee. Towards the near post this time, Southgate did well to adjust.
Certainly a brave decision from Bobby Robson. If he is going to keep the 3 up front, I thought he'd have dropped Dyer back into midfield and kept the same shape.
Staunton watched that carefully over his shoulder. Didn't clear quite so carefully. Staunton against Amiobi. Plenty of body contact. Wright hooks it clear. Ginola unable to control it. Plenty of body contact again with Griffin. Brave header by Staunton. Away by Boateng. Alan Goma into Daniel Cordoni, slipped off to Kieran Dyer. Newcastle just starting to assert themselves a little bit more now. Aston Villa started the game a little brighter. Boateng though. Hughes did well, Boateng went right through him. Hughes bravely back to his feet. Stone has the ball. Forced out by Barton. Merson. Stone. Barry. Ably dealt with by Alan Goma. Amiobi down towards Cordoni, hooked forward by Southgate. The next football on ITV is more cup football, the semi-finals of the Worthington Cup. Highlights at 11:30 on Wednesday night. If you want to know more, then why not visit our website, itv-football.co.uk. Cordoni, Barton. Dyer got ahead of Staunton, but again, some good experience defending from both Gareth Southgate and Steve Staunton under pressure already this afternoon. And Ginola has managed to release Barry here. Still to come after our live match on ITV this afternoon, the draw live for the 4th round of the FA Cup from the new FA headquarters in Soho. Barton, forward to Amiobi. Good test for somebody like Gareth Southgate when a new forward appears on the scene like Shola Amiobi.
Yeah, they don't know what he's capable of. They'll know a little bit about him, but not much.
Barton, away by Staunton.
A lot of it's a learning process as the game goes on. Actually, I've been reasonably impressed with him with Amiobi. He's looked nice and tidy, hasn't looked overawed.
Forward by Barry. This is Merson. Boateng is furthest forward in support. And it was a long way to run for a rather disappointing cross. Too close to Steve Harper.
Yeah, that's sometimes a problem a team playing with one up the middle. I know it was Boateng was going through as a centre forward then, but sometimes when he does go wide, the player in the wide area who really wants to whip it in quickly actually sometimes has to delay his cross until he gets people in the box. But I noticed that Merson in the last 10 minutes or so started making a lot of these little...
Merson in towards Dublin.
He started making a lot of those runs in behind the full-back areas on both sides, and that looks a big threat when he does that.
Just to tidy up that substitution which Newcastle made 5 minutes ago, the arrival of Daniel Cordoni was as a result of Gary Speed feeling unwell with a virus. He reported this morning and was a little doubtful. He looks all washed out, doesn't he? This wasn't well enough to continue. Been a well-matched game, quite a lively match. Best save so far by Harper from a Dublin header early on. Here's Solano. Squeezed it back, but Staunton knows he's got time. Similar to Dublin, Gomar quickly in. Barton. Hughes. Little long that time for Solano. Facedas to Cordoni. Away by Merson. Dublin to Ginola. Now Stone.
I'd like to see Ginola now. There's a good run from Boateng behind. But I'd like to see Ginola start driving across the field a little bit more off the ball. Just set Griffin a few more problems.
Offside Dublin.
I think at the moment he's very static, he's easy to see, and I think that Griffin is encouraging him to have the ball to feet and going and closing him out, whereas I think if he started roving about a little bit, just for a while, it would set Griffin another problem.
Rain in the northeast of England at the moment. Pitch is tacky rather than heavy. Little uneven. Hughes. Cordoni had pulled away from Samuel, but the pass was overhit.
Still not much space in midfield, though, is there? Both teams are squeezing in, lots of bodies in midfield. As you say, the pitch isn't as slick as you like it for quick 1- and 2-touch passing, so there's a certain lack of continuity in the game in there. But I don't think there's a real excuse for that.
He has his moments, but more good than bad in recent times, that's for sure. Acuna. Durkin was under pressure. Newcastle have lost those 3 home games, but they've beaten Liverpool and Leeds here recently. They came back to hold Manchester United very spiritedly. Foul by Merson. Going to have won 1 of their last 8 games, Newcastle only 2, but you can juggle the statistics because of the draws. Tell it's a general election year when you're juggling statistics. Needs a goal. Solano takes, and right down the throat of David James.
Just looking at Kieran Dyer now, I think over the last few minutes he's decided to almost slot into a semi-orthodox midfield position, a bit like Scholes takes from Man United. Has to fill in and do his share of defending with a loose possession, but I would think Bobby Robson saying, you get up with the front 2 now, Cordoni and Amiobi, as much as possible.
Merson looking very busy. Stone's pass just about reaches him via Acuna. This is Paul Merson. Find a way through to Ginola. And Griffin will find his way to Ginola, and he's having a rather moody afternoon.
I think he's having a personal battle. I think it's more concerned with trying to win the battle against Andy Griffin than actually, if you like, win the war against Newcastle.
John Gregory was giving his verdict on that for a moment, but he just dropped his programme. In 2 years here, Kevin Keegan signed him in '95. Newcastle were runners-up in the Championship in both of those seasons, but midway through the second one, Kevin Keegan left. That's 4 years ago tomorrow, that anniversary, incidentally. Kenny Dalglish arrived soon after, and soon after that, David Ginola was on the transfer list. Barton.
It's gone a bit messy, I think, don't you? There's too many mistakes for the quality of players that are out there, whether it's the nerves, whether everybody's a bit frightened of making a mistake. Everybody realises how important the FA Cup is to both sides.
I have initiated a square box, incidentally, for ITV's coverage this year. Anybody who mentions Wembley will have to put £25 in.
They'll put it in now.
For a charity. And it's a real test for the fans, because Que Sera, are going to Cardiff. Doesn't quite scan, does it? Hughes forward towards Cordoni. There's a flag up against the Argentine. He was a regular at the start of the season, but he's been out of favour the last couple of months, Daniel Cordoni. Stone. Merson looking very lively.
Yeah, that certainly looks their best way of penetrating when he makes those deep runs from the middle of the field. And he seems to be linking up a lot with Steve Stone. Steve Stone pulls wide, gets possession, teases his full back in, and enables Merson to have the space to run in behind. But at the moment, the only thing they have to show from it is the cross that he knocked in, and John, it's not that bad a game. Get yourself out here, son. We have to put up with it.
Well, John Gregory's trying to watch the game from the director's box, but is jumpy enough to want to keep visiting the touchline, and it's quite a long way down.
See, that's irresponsible for me.
Ginola gave it away very cheaply. Solano on the ball. Turned away by Southgate.
I think if you're a good enough player, and that's the exact opposite of a good piece of skill. If you've got the ability he's got, if you're accepting the ball inside situation, you've got to protect it.
Poor pass from Boateng that time, and Alan Wright, who was played into trouble, caught Noel Solano, and he can thank George Boateng for the booking that's about to come his way.
Yeah, very, very untidy ball. They're both on top of each other. Solano, to be fair, has quickly read the script, and now he's having hospital treatment.
He is on his feet and okay, glad to say. Bordone, Solano. Bordone has Acuna running beyond him, and Mercedes close to him. All the 4 South Americans in close vicinity there. Good challenge by Stone on Barton. Now Merson. It is 3 against 3 here momentarily. Paul Merson on the ball. Schindler is available to the left. He goes right to Stone instead. It might still run for Dion. Dublin catching up. Dublin shot. Didn't quite have the power to defeat Steve Harper.
Yeah, good break again from the Villa though. Some good work between Stone and Merson. Probably just doesn't carry enough. Dion realises he does hit them early, to be fair to Dion Dublin. He realises he hasn't got the pace to outrun them. Tries to catch the keeper by surprise.
Dyer on towards Amiobi. Well dealt with by Southgate, who's been very polished. Free kick has gone Newcastle's way. Aston Villa's way, I should say. Still Nottingham Forest 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0 at the City Ground. They must be close to a result in that 3 o'clock kickoff. Right. Header away by Hughes. Gareth Barry. And it is a goal kick. One of 2 All Premiership ties in the round. The other is tomorrow night. Bradford City entertaining Middlesbrough, who've been almost rechristened Terry Venables. Middlesbrough seems to never get a mention without our half-time analyst being mentioned with them. Big night for Terry tomorrow, and we will be hearing from him and Andy Townsend with Des during the break here. They're only 2 points apart in mid-table Premiership, and that's been reflected really. It's been an even match, an interesting match for 25 minutes, 30 minutes. It's tailed off a little bit. It needs an injection now.
Yeah, it needs something to happen. I mean, to be fair to Paul Merson, he's doing his utmost to make things happen. Normally you associate Paul Merson with picking up the ball and going at people, and this, he's done a lot of very good work off the ball. He's trying there again, he's trying to get in behind people. But he needs a little bit more support, a little bit more quality, if you like. I just wonder whether somebody like Gareth Barry, whether there should be a reshape, because he's gone missing. I thought he started off quite promising in the first 10 or 15 minutes.
1 minute of added time to play. Barton, headed away by Boateng. Dyer. Goal in the closing stages at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Looks like a great start for David Jones in charge at Molineux. Late goal there by Proudlock. There's only about 5 minutes to play. Acuna in towards Amiobi. Staunton and Southgate in particular have done really well back there.
Yeah, unless Newcastle play forward very, very quickly, all of a sudden there seems to be a flood of claret and blue shirts between the goal and the ball. The best moments have been when they played little quick incisive through balls and maybe got themselves the chance that Dyer refused when he maybe dwelt on it too long. But at the moment it's a pretty awful game, isn't it?
Certainly ordinary, but there's some less than ordinary players or more than ordinary players out there, and Two very experienced managers are going to get to grips with them now. There was promise in the opening stages of the match, that's for sure. Aston Villa made quite an assertive start. Dion Dublin forced the best save of the half from Steve Harver. Newcastle United came back to it in the middle part. It's tailed off a bit since then. Let's see if the boys agree in a few minutes' time, but at half-time at St James's Park, it's Newcastle United 0, Aston Villa 0.
America, home of the big car. And where better to test out Vauxhall's latest offering? Because looking at the technical specifications, it's the biggest small car they've ever built. For example, it has safety features like active front head restraints, it has speed-sensitive power steering, athletic styling, a pedal release system, easy-tronic gearbox. No, this can't be right. It's teeny.
That would fit in my trunk.
Where's the rest of it?
The all-new Corsa, the biggest small car we've ever built.
Well, come on, it must be in here somewhere.
Vauxhall, raising the standard.
It's not my shoe. It's his shoe.
Hurry to MFI. Spend £500 and get up to an extra 20% off sale prices. But it must end 8 p.m. Wednesday the 10th.
Maybe I'm a banker who's completely obsessed. Got a little something that's bound to impress. This current account pays a higher amount of extraordinary interest. Now you probably think it's all too tough to change those debits and credits to be rearranged. Just give me the signal and without any fuss, you can leave the whole thing to us. Extra, extra, I know you want more. I'll give you something extra when you walk through my door. Extra, extra, though I cannot deny. Terms and conditions apply.
It's easy to change to the current account that pays an extraordinary 4% interest. Halifax, always giving you extra.
Trains, 300 miles an hour. Mail, 3,000 miles a second. Athletes are getting faster all the time. And now, from Anadin, an advanced form of pain relief. Fast-acting liquid-filled capsules. Anadin Ultra, when only fast will do.
They're back!
Hello, Cal, you all right? You won't believe it. It's only us.
We're going to come back Monday, late Monday.
Yeah.
The way you use your phone will never be the same again.
And Jenny. What are you doing, you nuts?
Because with BT Talk Together, local evening and weekend calls won't cost you a penny. You just pay an extra £5 a month on line rental.
You get her number? Yeah, so did I. Yeah.
BT Talk Together. Call us now on 0800 05 5555.
We were looking forward to a spectacular. But we've got the second half. Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 0 at the moment in this third round FA Cup tie. What did you make of it, Terry? It wasn't great.
No, it was a bit disappointing. I thought Aston Villa early on led the game, and Newcastle were very disappointing, really, considering they're the home side. And I think that out of the two managers, John Gregory will be the happier.
Don't get that sort of great roar here at the moment, do you, Newcastle's getting behind the team, do you feel?
No, but it's that who comes first.
Yeah.
You know, if you get a bit of excitement, then it starts to build up. But or does the crowd push the team on?
I think you felt, Andy, that Villa could have been a little more ambitious.
Des, every time I watch Aston Villa this year, you know, I feel they're more than capable of winning a lot of matches they play in. You know, I admire the fact that they're very resilient and they don't concede a lot of goals. I just would like to see them commit more people forward a little bit quicker than they do. I think if they do that, I really feel they can win this game here today. I really feel they could go away with a 2-0 victory if they were prepared to really commit themselves. They don't do it enough, and that's why they tend to frustrate people.
Yeah. I mean, the wing-backs, right and left-back, doesn't seem to get forward much more than the halfway line. Mind you, Janola's in his way at the moment. He's staying on the left wing. He's got a left wing-back, and the left winger about 10 yards in front of him, you know, filling his space.
Way, sort of thing.
And on the left side, they've not even had a left-sided player of the midfield for Newcastle. So Stone's got a straight run at Barton all the way up. And really, they're saying, OK, we can deal with that, leave that alone. But the space really has been behind Barton. Merson has made about 7 or 8 runs there, and maybe that's where they'll go for again this half.
Well, I think Merson's been the player of the half so far,
yes,
don't you?
Yes, yeah.
But let's look at that chance that they did have, Aston Villa. I mean, Dublin, he got a good header in. I think it was from a Merson pass, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yeah. They worked a little situation on this far side of the throw-in. It goes to Gareth Barry, ends up coming back to Paul Merson. Dion Dublin's now peeled off Aaron Hughes. It's a great ball in, and he's attacked that ever so well.
Really well.
That is a fantastic one-handed save from Harper. That really is. I mean, from this angle, it looks even better. You see Dion Dublin gets across the defender. That is a terrific save, and had that have gone in, might have seen a different game.
Now, what about David? It's not working out for him, is it?
There is
for the
no
reason
doubt.
you said, to an extent.
Well, he may have been told to be on that left wing, but I think if he comes off the line and takes the right back in with him, there's going to be a big space for him. Now, here he's gone off the line, he's given him a bit of trouble. 3 of them chasing, that does look like that they no need to go into him. He just got to stand up. He's going away from the goal. There's no problem. Here's another one where he just stops the ball.
This is young Griffin, isn't it?
Yeah,
Martin?
he stops the ball there and gives him a bit of bait, and he takes it and he just knocks it off. The second touch comes in so quick. He stops the ball. He thinks he's going to take, and he moves it on, and he's away. He knows what he's going to do. He's going for the foul.
Griffin got a yellow card for that. It was almost a sending off, I thought. Did you?
I think that we're getting yellow cards for such silly little things. That becomes almost a red card.
It was a proper foul, wasn't it?
It was a proper foul, but really it should be a yellow card. A lot of the yellow cards we get at the moment, we shouldn't get. We should be just saying, it's a foul, free kick, let's get on with the game. Otherwise, you know, we're making everything out of context.
I think Paul Durkin as well is one of the better referees. I think he's one of the more consistent ones, and he recognises that. And I think he got that decision right.
OK, let's have a look at Dyer, because you picked him out at the start of the match, and he's done pretty well. I mean, I think in this particular case, he dithered a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He got himself in a great situation here. When he ducks back inside Samuel, I think he should have shot there.
Yeah.
But he's now took too long. Gareth Southgate stands on his feet well, and it comes to nothing.
He wanted it on the right foot a bit.
Yeah, but you know, he is always a threat. This one here again, the goalie's already seen that very early. Ron Atkinson said that he put the brakes on, and not many.
James very early as well, didn't he?
So we hope for better things in the second half from here. But at the end of the match, of course, we have the draw for the 4th round, and very much in it a Kingstonian of the Nationwide Conference who knocked out Southend on their ground yesterday. Well, the Kingstonian manager, Jeff Chappell, joins us now from FA headquarters. Well, you've done it again, Jeff. Very well done. You've been down this road before with a non-league side.
Yeah, thanks, Des. Yeah, we're looking forward to the draw today. Obviously, at this stage now, we hope we can get a longer straw than the last one. I thought both Southend and ourselves drew a short straw. But with 32 teams left, we're rather hopeful that we might get a Premiership side.
That's what you want, away, I take it. Well, you play away anyway, wouldn't you?
I would imagine so, because at the moment we've got a ground development going on, and the capacity is about 3,000. For safety reasons, I think we may well have to play a tie away.
What's it mean financially to your club if you played away against Arsenal or one of the big sides, say?
Well, an awful lot, because just at the moment, I mean, this development's costing somewhere near £1 million, and we've got a £250,000 grant from the Football Trust. We've got to fund the rest ourselves, so a lucrative tie would come very handy for us.
We'll keep an eye on you later with the draw. Thank you very much, and congratulations once again on yesterday.
Thank you.
Well, it's a big day too for David Jones, back in football for his first match as Wolves manager after his well-documented year. Wolves away to Forest in the All-First Division tie, and Gabriel Clark has the details.
A new era began for Wolves and David Jones, but a strangely subdued cup tie only sparked into life early in the second half. Wolves striker Michael Branch was almost rewarded for his sheer persistence. Adam Proudlock's shot beat Dave Besant, but came back off the post. Forest went even closer. Captain Chris Bart-Williams thought he'd scored. Wolves skipper Kevin Muscat was on the same wavelength. It got better for Jones. 5 minutes from time, Proudlock was in behind the Forest defence. His chance appeared to have gone, but Proudlock knew exactly what he was doing. A winning start for the new boss. Forest 0, Wolves 1.
Well, here it's Newcastle United 0, Aston Villa 0 at half-time. Very shortly we'll have the exciting second half. Yes, exciting.
It's lovely here, isn't it? It's nice to get some fresh air.
David, shouldn't we be getting back now?
No. Everything's fine. It's much better than being cooped up in the car.
You're not too tired, are you, Mum?
Come on, buddy. Stick together. This is the way to experience it, you know, out in the fresh air.
DVD. It's a movie on a disc the size of a CD. With breathtaking digital pictures and astonishing digital surround sound. Many DVD titles offer fantastic special features, including...
Park, it was Newcastle United 0, Aston Villa 0 at half-time. Second half coming up live for you very shortly. But first, let's have a view from Newcastle's Robert Lee. He's with Gary.
Well, Rob, you would be available if there were to be a replay. Do you see it going that way?
At the moment, I can't see anybody scoring. I think there's probably been 2 shots from Dion Dublin. I think Kieran Dyer had a good chance where he should have shot and delayed it a bit, but it just looks like it's all in midfield at the moment. There are too many chances at either end, really.
Did Gary Speed coming off really affect you? Do you think he's got a virus?
Yeah, I think Gary Speed's going to be a big miss for us. I mean, he's the player that scores the goals from the midfield, really. And we've had to bring Kieran back, and to be fair, the first 10 minutes he was causing them problems with his pace, so it's not helped us.
And what about Ginler? Griffin's doing a good job on him, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing very well. I mean, he's marked him a few times now, and I think he hit him early on and got booked, and since then, really, David, we haven't seen David, which is a good thing for us.
But Dyer's one of your star players. He hasn't been too involved, has he?
No, as I say, the first 10 minutes, I thought he was causing a problem with his pace. But since Gary's gone off, we've had to pull him back into midfield, and I think it's restricted him a bit, really. He's been playing exceptionally well recently, so... but you know, there's always a second half. Hopefully it'll get a bit better.
We all live in hope of that. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. And we have had late winners in each of the 2 AXA-sponsored FA Cup ties already played today. Teddy Sheringham, 88th minute, to give Manchester United a 2-1 win at Fulham. Adam Proudlock, 85th minute for Wolverhampton Wanderers at Nottingham Forest. So who knows? Maybe we're going to have to wait for some late dramas here at St James's Park, where we're goalless. Only Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur have won the FA Cup more times than Aston Villa. 7 victories for them, 6 Newcastle. Their names printed indelibly in the competition's rich history, but Newcastle's glory days were going on 50 years ago. Villa's golden period over 100 years ago. This is the 21st century, and the club's younger fans have had enough history lessons. Newcastle's South American contingent trying to get them moving again. This is Solano looking for Dyer. Dealt with well by Samuel. Dublin into the path of Merson. Forward by Samuel. But again, not the kind of ball that really Dion Dublin thrives on. I think from Abiobi. Southgate has a couple of yards start on Cordoni.
Just about to say there, Clive, I think what he did there, Samuel, he saw Boateng start to make the run that Merson's been making. And unfortunately Boateng checked his run.
No evident change in shape. Ginler has started over on the Villa left again. Official attendance here today, incidentally, 37,682, the largest of third round weekend.
I think what we're looking for, particularly from Newcastle, they're the home side. There's a big onus on them because, you know, their away form's not great. It's to take a chance and start pushing forward. I've just seen there, Griffin has made one of his first few runs.
Pacedas looking for Griffin.
Just something almost came of it. Just about to say he can afford to gamble now. There's a bit of who's got the most moral courage? Does he have to mark Ginola all day, or should he leave him in the knowledge that no way in the world is Ginola going to track him back? And I think, as the home side, I think he's got to be a little bit more adventurous now. I know it's a risk. You could leave Ginola completely free to hit them on the rebound. But as I say, Newcastle are the home side, and I think they're going to make a push of it a bit more.
Bacedas came back to him via Alan Wright. Cordone. Now Solano getting into that same space. Cross charge down by Southgate. Alan Wright back to his skipper. Ginola forced on to Dublin. Villa don't naturally get anybody close to Dion Dublin. I would have thought he's the kind of centre forward who needs somebody around him, really.
Yeah, he's always better when he's got a partner. He takes a big responsibility playing on his own up there, and he'll fight for the balls in the air, but he's not the sort of player that can go over the top and create a problem with pace or anything like that. And he needs somebody to read off his flicks. I mean, looking today, and I know the fella's injured, but somebody like Joachim, for argument's sake, would be a very good foil for him.
On the Villa bench today, they do have Darius Vassell, the current England under-21 international striker. In fact, the 4 Villa outfield substitutes are all under-21s.
Yeah, I mean, he would be the obvious choice to come on.
Dyer running from midfield, finding Cordone. Brighter start to the second half by Newcastle United. Cordone slipped, but just let Samuel in. Newcastle, for their part, have the rather extravagant skills of Lamana Luar, another exciting young prospect as a striking option from the bench. Right. Dublin. Merson had made a run beyond Dublin there, just couldn't quite link up.
It puts a big onus on poor Merson, though. If he's the one that's always going to make the front, he's offside there, incidentally. If he's the one that's always going to make the joining up player, very often he starts from particularly deep positions and he can't make up the ground.
Not much in it, was there?
No, not much at all. I would guess that he was slightly a shoulder nearer.
I think it's right leg and right shoulder offside.
Does that make him fully offside or only partially offside? But you just feel like somebody wants to get hold of it and give it a blooming good kick somewhere. They all seem so cautious.
Ginola. Caution, not a word you associate with him, but he's given the ball away. Bacedas. Now Dyer. Solano. Twinkle toes run down the right-hand side by Dyer, seen off by Southgate.
Certainly a lot brighter this half, Newcastle. Whether Bobby Robson said, hey, we're the home side. Come on, if we're going to make a run in this cup, we've got to take the game to them.
Newcastle brought the crowd into the game a little bit more now. Solano. Turned away by Southgate. Almost for Bacedas. Fine, smart challenge there by Boateng on the edge of his own penalty area. Merson brings it away. Ginola has switched to the right-hand side. Guess who's come with him? There's a problem here because George Boateng is down in some agony inside the centre circle.
I don't know if that was a result of that challenge. He just blocked the effort there on the edge of the box. But it does leave them in a little bit. They've been a bit Villa. They've got Hendry out. Taylor's injured, so it leaves them a little bit shy of what they would call quality midfield players or replacements.
That was one of the points that John Gregory did make in his well-publicised remarks of late, that irrespective of whether or not they're stuck in a time warp or thinking big and acting small, that he does need a first-team squad of 20 and not 16 players. And if I tell you that on the bench they have Hitzelsberger, Vassell, McGrath and Milak, you'll understand that they are down to the bare bones. And here is John McGrath, his left winger from Limerick, who only made his debut at Chelsea on New Year's Day for the last 10 minutes and may be about to get his first taste of the FA Cup.
Well, if this fella comes off and stays off, this is a massive out, because I think Boateng has been one of the better Villa players. He's been snapping at everybody's heels in midfield when the ball's about there, and he's been positive enough to make the occasional runs alongside with Merson.
They'll soldier on, as is his wont. But on one leg.
Yeah, he's the sort of, you're the manager, you want him on the field, even if he's just sitting in front of the back four. Let's say he looks to be struggling with his running at the moment.
Cordoni. Away by Southgate. Ginola versus Griffin. Now he's played that well because Staunton has got Barry in behind Ginola.
The problem he's got there, that's exactly the problem Aston Villa have. He would have loved to have just taken that ball out of his feet, moved it on. He got nobody ahead of him.
Merson just couldn't quite get enough backspin on it. Here's the goal kick.
That was bad luck. But when the move developed, Barry was in a great situation. He'd taken it on. He was virtually the furthest man forward. He really just wanted to whip a left-hand ball around the back of the defence. He got nobody at all. Here's Merson just trying a little bit of skill, which just, oh, that's you like to see skill like that bear fruit.
Offside. But the key maybe to that last Aston Villa attack was that when it was played up to Ginola, he laid it off immediately. He sucked Griffin in, laid it off, and they were able to play in behind him. Offside against Amiobi. It's a very extravagant sounding name. He is African born, but very much a Geordie at heart. He's lived in this part of the world since he was 5. Shola Amiobi. He is a product of the Newcastle Academy system, which Kenny Dalglish rebuilt. That's clever from Ginola. Barry. In towards Stone! Yes! Steve Stone breaks the deadlock. It's Aston Villa who take the lead. The boyhood Newcastle United fan, Steve Stone, what a homecoming.
Some classy move up the left, good interplay here between Ginola and Barry. Barry whips in a great ball into that area where people don't like, between the keeper and the last line. You may say, should Warren Barton have been more in the wider weight club, but I'd prefer to give credit to the attacking side. Good ball in. Dangerous ball, and he's made up the ground. You don't miss him one there, Stoney. Great ball in, great finish.
Well, he's not prolific, Steve Stone. It's 4 months since he scored. He got one for Villa in the quarter-final at Everton last season en route to Wembley. And that is just what the game needed, quite apart from what Aston Villa needed. Here is the goal scorer. Clipped forward towards George Boateng, who's miraculously recovered.
See, but even then Boateng has to buy time and wait for support players. I thought he was in a good position.
Stone in towards Barry! Well, isn't it amazing? Newcastle United started the half with probably the best 5 minutes they've had in the entire game, and now they're behind. His father used to bring Steve Stone to St James's Park, used to stand on the Gallowgate end. He was a real regular Newcastle fan, but he couldn't make an impact in this part of the world. It was Nottingham Forest who gave him his schooling in the game. But he is a good news story. He's had serious injuries, both right at the start of his career and more critically when in 1996 he was about to make a real England breakthrough. And there's the reaction of his manager. All fans at heart.
In tennis parlance, where do we stand now then with David and Griffin?
Well, Ginola certainly had an impact in the last 2 Aston Villa attacks just by helping the ball on cleverly. Merson trying to make a run beyond Griffin. And all that momentum which Newcastle built up at the start of the second half has now been checked.
That's going to take a lot of character now, because the home side didn't really cause too much of a threat, had 1 half chance in the first half, a couple of reasonable situations so far, not enough in a cup tie if you're the home team.
Plenty for Bobby Robson, his right-hand man, Mick Wadsworth, to contemplate.
particularly against a team that's renowned for not giving an awful lot away.
Newcastle haven't kept a clean sheet since September now. Joe Lloyd-Samuel. It's hard work being a wing-back, though, particularly when you're getting from box to box, as Stone has done this afternoon.
Like he said, he's happy being in the side. And they're obviously happy having him in the side after today.
A little drag on the arm of Dion Dublin, conceded the free kick to Aston Villa. We'll be fancying the chances here now. Bit happier now. Southgate. Underway by Solano, only as far as Staunton. Aaron Hughes had time. Noel Solano. Kieran Dyer. Stone having to do some defending now, but Dyer has broken his challenge. And here's Cordone. And it's George Boateng who made an important tackle on behalf of the three behind him.
Yeah, they grouped up in front of him and a great back tackle there from Boateng.
Equally good tackle by Gomar for Newcastle. Free kick has been given, Boateng penalised. Critical stage this.
Just thinking the crowd have come as well at the moment. Yeah, very seldom do you hear a Newcastle crowd silence like we heard early on.
And they realise that they can't allow Aston Villa to get used to this lead and settle on it and grow. Solano takes. Taken out by Gareth Barry. Given away by Barton to Merson. Chance for a break, and it's Barry who's in the break here. Turned inside Griffin, but Bacedas gave it straight to right, and here's Merson breaking down the centre. But Newcastle United are in that twist or stick dilemma now. The more they push on, the more vulnerable they become to the counter.
I certainly think they can afford to just let Dyer run free, even if it means Solano tucking in and playing a little bit more as a right-sided midfield player as opposed to a wide midfield player. I think Dyer would look for me to be the key. His pace and zip might be the only one that could threaten the Villa back line.
Ginola penalised. But whereas he looked a little bit narky and a little bit mopey in the first half, he's got his appetite back now. Here is David Ginola. Survived the handball appeals, but gave it straight to Kieran Dyer. Now Clarence Acuna, who's been steady as a sitter in the Newcastle midfield, but hasn't made a big impact on the game.
No, golden rule of a midfield player, you don't get caught in possession, and he allowed Dion Dublin ages to make up the ground. Fortunately, a free kick in his favour.
And now gone. Aston Villa lead through Steve Stone's second half goal. This one from Barton. Here is Stone. And it's Dyer who's gone all the way back with Boateng. Bobby Wilson would like to see that energy being expended in the Aston Villa half of the field. Bacedas. Dyer. Now Acuna. Dyer this time to Barton. Always going to come back on his right foot. Drove it against Boateng. It might come for Dyer once more.
There's Griffin going off the back again.
Solano's cross. There is a flag up here. It's Clarence Acuna who broke forward, but into an offside position.
Just as that move was developing there, watch Griffin on the top of the picture starting to make the ground. He's been ignored, but at least he gives them options. Offside, I think he's got to do that more often. You've just said when Barton comes up the left-hand side, very seldom is he going to whip a ball in off his left side. He whipped one in early first half. He has to check back. Griffin at least is the running player. He can take it out of his feet. And he's got to ignore to a certain extent Ginola when his own team's attacking.
Dublin leaving it for Barry. Acuna got back with a challenge. Merson picking up the baton for Aston Villa. Hit against Barton. Almost came for Dublin. Hooked away by Hughes. Barton to Dyer. Plenty happening here. Onside, Amiobi has support. It's Shola Amiobi. Hit the outside of the post. Closest straight for Aston Villa. Shola Amiobi so close to registering his first goal for Newcastle.
Yeah, good break. Slotted ball, he could have been offside, touch and go, but at least he drives for goal. You think for all the world that Southgate's going to get across and squeeze him out, but he gets his shot away, and James is fortunate to see just clip the outside of the post.
Much, much better second half. Alan Goma. Firm challenge by Barry. Merson to Ginola.
The other thing, of course, Bobby Robson's got in his locker, if he wanted to use it, is whether he could bring Stephen Glass and give it a bit of left-hand balance. You know the shape of his side, but at the moment the midfield's all a bit of a muchness. They're all what you call Tanner ball players in. They're all popping it about, but nobody really making things happen. Maybe if you stuck a left-handed player on, you can get somewhere.
Ginola against Griffin. Or Hughes it was that time, I should say. Unusual to see anybody else marking David Ginola, but this is Aaron Hughes. How many touches as the goalkeeper dare take? Second one gets it away. Now Bobby Robson's been very pleased with the attitude that his South American players have shown in the hurly-burly of the English game, but none of the four of them have made a real impact on the match as yet.
No, they're very much a muchness. They're all neat and tidy. They can all deal with the ball, but at the moment none of them's really done anything that can contribute towards winning the game. I'd certainly, if I was Bobby, and he knows his players better than any of us, I'd take one of the central midfield players off and bring Glass on the left-hand side.
Here goes Amiobi stretching his legs against Southgate, and we understand that both Stephen Glass and Lomana Luar are imminent from the bench.
I tell you what, I wonder whether Cordoni could come off, who's already, who's come on a sub. I wonder if he could come off, because he hasn't really contributed a lot to the game, and I think the odds are that the big lad will come off, and the Obi, but he looks as if he could put a threat on. Somehow or other, he's got to, whatever happens.
In towards Amiobi, Southgate jumping in front of him.
Whatever happens, you get the feeling he's got to try and get Dyer where he has no defensive restrictions at all, and he can just bunk on forward.
Right, preventing the corner. Here comes the substitution. I think it's going to be a two-pronged change. Certainly Warren Barton is going to give way to Lomana Luar, just turned 20 over Christmas. There's a captain's armband to give away here for Barton. Luar in the foreground. More than £2 million worth from Colchester in September, and Stephen Glass, the Scottish international, on the left-hand side is going to replace the Argentine Christian Bacedas. And it's worth thinking back that it's Amiobi, in fact. The board was wrong. Amiobi has come off. Bacedas is still on there, but when they were behind against Manchester United, Bobby Robson made a treble substitution, and all three of the replacements were involved in the equalising goal, which was scored by Glass. Here he is, Stephen Glass. There's Luar.
Just thinking, when if he hadn't made that change, I was trying to think what sort of... Looked to me as if it had about 7 forwards on.
Confirmation that Amiobi has left us. The other young forward on his place with an equally exotic name, Luar, is a product of Hackney Marshes. Pacedas. Edge of the penalty area, Dyer crowded out. Ginola. Merson is aware that Barry was making the break, and he'll be aware that he's got Alan Wright scampering ahead of him. Merson has made a great break down the inside left channel, and Barry with a good ball has found him. And both Ginola and Dublin are forward here. Merson to right. Dublin's offside.
But when he makes those runs, Mercer, when he runs from inside to out, it's a big responsibility on Acuna as the central sitting midfield player to look after him. And I'm not altogether sure that he's picked out too many of those runs.
Solano. Headed by Southgate. Then by Staunton. Control from Merson. Clearance from Staunton. Glass. Coached in towards Dyer. Oh, lovely instant control, and was tripped by Samuel.
Well, straight away the continuity of the attack could keep going. The ball was fed to Glass outside his left foot, dinked into the space. Whereas before that would have had to be checked and played back in field. It's good progressive football.
Possibilities here with Alain Goma and Aaron Hughes coming forward to give David James more to think about. With an awful lot of curl from Norberto Solano. The central defenders were but decoys.
Yeah, very decent effort that, because I mean, James obviously can't pick that flight up until late. Just couldn't get the thing down quick enough. Good pace, good direction, can't just sit it down.
ITV's football coverage is back into its stride. We've got more cup football for you later this week. The semi-finals of the Worthington Cup. Highlights at 11:30 on Wednesday night, featuring the first leg of Crystal Palace versus Liverpool from Selhurst Park. If you want the full lowdown, then visit our website, itv-football.co.uk. Draw for the fourth round still to come on today's programme. Both Manchester United and Wolverhampton Wanderers are already in it, and Aston Villa are heading that way. Despite another problem here for George Boateng. The way that Pacedas fell against him, really.
It looks innocuous enough, doesn't it?
He twisted his knee. Coming up to his third anniversary in charge next month. He was an FA Cup finalist under Terry Venables at Queen's Park Rangers in 1982, and they were beaten in the replay by Glenn Hoddle's penalty for Tottenham. Going to have a look at Boateng. We understand that Darius Vassell, the young striker, was about to replace David Ginola, but they'll regroup for the moment. Aston Villa, there's Vassell. Free kick in towards Goma. Loire stretching to reach it. Corner flag got in his way. Ginola will chase his own flick. Making it tough for Aaron Hughes, and he's been penalised a little unfortunately there, I think.
Yes, Aaron Hughes, very complacent ball. Ginola flicked it up. Aaron Hughes just dallied after it. Instead of racing and sprinting after it, and all of a sudden he encouraged Ginola to get at the ball, and as you say, didn't look too much wrong with that.
Looked like cease of one and half a dozen the other. Here's Cordoni. Solano just can't quite catch up with that.
I wonder in hindsight, when they had to make the first substitution when speed went off, whether they've been better off with Glass coming on straight away as a replacement, and keeping the balance and keeping Dyer up as a front player.
John Gregory's just having a bit of a contretemps with Dave Babsky, the official on the near side. John Gregory arguing with officials. Is there a D in the day? Lualua comes into Stoke. Merson offside against Schindler. Come on, David, I think that was. Acuna. Trying to get Griffin forward down that right-hand side again, Newcastle.
Yeah, he's got to start making. He's got to keep just bombing on now and forgetting about his defensive responsibilities.
Cordone. Bacedas. Tipped it nicely to Dyer. Just couldn't quite gather it in, and he showed enough of it to Southgate. And here's Dublin trying to get Merson on his way, and a slip by Goma might help. It's Merson very isolated. So well to find a route out there.
I mean, that's the beauty that lead's given them now from this fellow Stoney. At least they can keep the ball now. They don't have to force the game. They can make Newcastle chase it.
Dublin in pursuit. Minus one here for Dion Dublin. Goalkeeper committed. There's no foul by Dublin.
For all the world, and I thought Harper was going to catch Dublin. When Dublin was there, I thought he was going to catch him just as he went past him.
Goal kick is the end result of that.
Quite an unusual situation. At first you thought it was a foul by the centre forward, then you thought for all the world the goalkeeper's going to chop him. I think he's muscled him, I think he stumbled the defender.
Uphill struggle here for Newcastle United. Dyer is their mainspring. There's a late challenge there by Staunton.
Still think they're trying to go through them, cut through the middle instead of coming out wide. They've got wide players now. They've got Glass to deliver from one side. They've got both Solano and Griffin that can put balls in from the other side. I think they've got to use that width.
Bacedas clipped in towards Acuna. Oh, it was charged down by the arms. The referee was pretty close, although looking through bodies. And Schindler is able to bring it away. He's got Barry in the middle, if you can look up and see him. Schindler might go it alone against Griffin.
I think that might have just been a case then if he didn't see Barry. There'd been a little bit of that dueling banjos there.
Goma. Oh, there was a big penalty shout there as the ball was guided forward.
It's that old thing again, isn't it? Was it intentional? It certainly looks as if it hit his hands. Definitely now, in recent weeks, and one of our panellists might agree with us on that, has seen something similar to that awarded against them.
But the point is that the only word in the laws that matter is intentional. There's nothing in the laws about shouldn't have your arms up or all that kind of thing. And that, for me, is not intentional. Anyway, here comes an Aston Villa substitution, and David Schindler, no doubt to the usual accompaniment, will depart St James's Park, where he thrilled so often, and where he has been disappointed on all his returns since, to be replaced by the pacey England under-21 international striker Darius Vassell. Here is Vassell quickly into the action. Boateng caught in possession. Bacedas. And Aston Villa are getting a lot of bodies back now between Newcastle's attacks and their goalkeeper David Jones.
And they're still trying to thread through the middle. You know, they've got players capable in Newcastle playing some intricate stuff, but I think it's playing into Villa's hands defensively. They're keeping three fairly narrow at the back.
Loa in pursuit. Staunton trying to protect it. In the end, has to make a clearance.
And they're not really pulling the defenders about. If one defender misses it, it's a safe bet. There's another in close contact with him. I believe they've got, as I say, I believe that they've got to go wider and try and pull them about now.
Griffin, Solano. Cordone, cleverly done. Little turn by Dyer. Tried to stand it up to the far post. The deflection made it awkward. It is a corner. James couldn't keep it in. He's got a wonderful attitude, David James. I'm not quite sure I'd want to see my goalkeeper smiling quite as often as he does, but he does seem a very relaxed, easygoing kind of individual. Maybe a good approach for a keeper. Solano takes, and so does James. Huge throw downfield towards Merson. Over diaries again. Merson's won it back.
What they have got, of course, with Vassell coming on, he'll give them that little bit of pace up front if they want to play in the counter-attack Villa.
Yeah, he's not had the best of luck with injuries the last 18 months or so, Darius Vassell, but he's been a regular in the England under-21 side this season. On by Dublin, and here is Vassell's pace, and out comes Harper. That was a photo finish.
I think the law of common sense has prevailed there. No need to stop the game. It was advantage play.
Yeah, the assistant on the near side was flagging for a foul. The time is running out here for Newcastle United. Acuna. Cordoni. Vassell. Villa have got Newcastle where they want them here.
I mentioned Stephen Glass came on. He's hardly had a ball played to him in the top half of the field. Say, go on, deliver us a good crossing from there. He's held his width, kept his position, and yet hasn't really been fed.
Dyer. Charged down by Staunton, that was handball. But same kind of thing.
I'm going to say, that's where it gets people a little bit frustrated. That seemed equally as much as the incident just a little bit earlier in the penalty box. I think if the ball hits your hand wherever it's a foul, that's solve all the arguments.
Solano will take the free kick. Alain Gomar is forward. This is Stephen Glass. Helped in towards Loire. Oh, through the crowd and in! Mo Solano has equalised for Newcastle. Fancied his chances, and his luck was in. And with just over 10 minutes remaining, it's Newcastle United 1, Aston Villa 1. Noel Solano, who got the equaliser at Villa last month, has got the equaliser here.
But have a look at the build-up again. Clever free kick. He doesn't throw it into the heap. Plays it left. Glass angles one in. Ball's batted out, and then Solano. Look, there's a good angle ball in from Glass. Defender does all he can with it, and that's a beautiful control volley. Not the easiest in the world when there's a heap of defenders coming out trying to close you down.
He has been scoring goals recently, Solano. Got a tremendous free kick here against Leeds United just before Christmas. It's 3 goals in his last 4 matches, but in the circumstances, as critical a goal as he's probably ever scored for Newcastle.
And I think, Clive, the key was they were patient with the free kick. They just didn't throw it into a crowded box. He angled it so they could play it in from a wider area.
Goma. Glass, who fed the ball in. Back to Aaron Hughes. Into Loire. Down towards Kieran Dyer. Hooked away by George Boateng.
What they're now going to do is test Villa's resolve, because Villa have been very, very comfortable.
Cacedas. Solano with a little back flick. Southgate is there. Little flick from Dublin, and Vassell trying to get on the blind side of Hughes.
There again, Hughes. He did it earlier against Ginola. He's nearly done it there against Vassell, where he's dwelt. Got to react. If you're the last man, you sprint back and get on it.
Good hit, wasn't it?
That's a beautiful effort. Irony of all that is I just saw, I think it was Gareth Barry coming out and leaping up to try and block the airborne volley. Just wonder if he'd stayed, if he just stayed on his feet, whether it would have hit him.
Here's Solano again. Losing out to Staunton this time, and Darius Vassell has got a chance to lead a counter-attack for Aston Villa. Vassell has Stone in support, hung up towards Dion Dublin, beaten to it by Griffin just behind him.
Now the Newcastle stick or bust now. I think that their best bet is still to try and go for it in the closing stages.
This is Loire.
They've got the crowd up, they've got a bit of adrenaline flowing. They're not
Still not playing over well, but at least they've come back from the dead almost.
Kept in by Glass. Dyer. Acuna. Andy Griffin. Charged down by Gareth Barry. Solano. On by Bacedas. Cordone joining in, and here's more Solano again. Digs out across. Southgate manages to find a clearance at the expense of a corner. What were we saying at half-time? Not much atmosphere inside St James's. There is now.
Best part of the game now. We're now starting to be. I think they've realised that they are both in the FA Cup.
It is Solano to take the corner kick. Header away is by Steve Staunton. Griffin. Dublin helping out of the back. Purcell couldn't hold it up. Griffin. Tossed in towards Solano. It comes out for Loa. Solano's cross. Southgate is there. Aston Villa's defending. Nothing like as comfortable or as tidy anymore.
No, they're tending to get a little bit anxious, and if Newcastle are still not convincing, but at least they're pushing people forward now.
You know, Solano's name has been linked with Manchester United and Real Madrid in the last 12 months. That's pretty good company to be associated. He's an absolute hero in Peru, where he's captained the country for many years. He's recently lost after a row with the national coach out there, but Bobby Robson's not too upset if his star man isn't travelling backwards and forwards to South America all the time. David James using every one of his 6 seconds. Stone. Bassell, happy to take the throw. Away by Hughes. Driven forward by David James towards Dion Dublin. The FA Cup replays are the week after next, and they will be featured on ITV2. Staunton dispossessing Cordone. Barry being asked to run forward, but Griffin running back with him. Merson. He's won himself a corner. Inside the last 5 minutes, Paul Merson still going strong. He and Steve Staunton are the only 2 cup winners on the field. These 2 sides have been beaten cup finalists between them over the last 3 years. It's a long way back to Wembley, as Newcastle know all too well. A long way back to the final in this case this year. Staunton takes in towards Dublin. And as been a chance has been spurned this afternoon.
Yeah, I'd put my life on Dion there. I mean, there's a lovely little gap. Look at the gap past the first defender. Dion's good at getting into that space. You feel if he makes contact, he must score. He's under a bit of pressure from Gomo, but that's usually the sort of chance he gobbles up.
Cordone. Bacedas. Kieran Dyer. Stephen Glass. Headed away by Barry in a more familiar position. Acuna trying to keep the attack alive. He's won it again. It's Clarence Acuna. And Noel Solano. Important header by J. Lloyd Samuel. Newcastle come again. Okay. 10 minutes into this second half, Steve Stone gave Aston Villa the lead. 10 minutes from the end of the half, Noel Solano equalised for Newcastle United. And it's looking like Villa Park on Wednesday week. Gilmer caught one in the chops there from Dublin, but Newcastle go on with Dyer. Now Loire. In towards Cordoni, it's Merson helping out. I think Bobby Robson still cares. Look at the pair of them, look at them.
Brilliant, that.
Why does Terry want to get back into all that? I wonder. It's in their blood, that's why.
George! Get in the hole, George! Get in that fucking hole!
Throw in to Aston Villa. I think it's an escape for managers, isn't it? Something like John Gregory has had so many distractions off the field in the last week or so with the Angel signing and the contretemps with the chairman. Nobody can reach you between kick-off time and full whistle. No press questions to answer during the game. No agents to sit down with. It's an FA Cup tie which took its time to come to the boil, but as we approach the final minute now, would a replay be about right, Ron?
Yes, yeah. I think overall Villa looked the most composed side, and I have to be honest, when they took the lead, I generally didn't think Newcastle could get back into the game, but they've persevered, they've battled on, and who knows?
Yeah, Bakary trying to make a liar out of both of us. Well, he's won the cup, of course, with Ipswich Town, Bobby Robson, 1978. George Burley, who was his right back that day, is already in the hat for the draw, which is coming up soon on ITV. And it looks like Bobby Robson will be in there with a half share in it anyway. Loire. Challenged by Staunton. Cordoni into Acuna. Couldn't quite get the ball round Southgate, but he has found Loire, and in goes Solano, and there's a hand up there. Was it Noel Solano's?
Yeah, some good build-up here, a fast whipped-in cross, and I think Solano's tried to do a little bit of a Maradona there. Good flighted in.
Nothing came of it, fortunately. Three extra minutes to play. Dublin on towards Vassell. He's got on the dangerous side of Hughes. It's Darius Vassell, but the angle was against him. Just a little bit too much pace needed to get him into the position to be able to check and then guide it goalwards.
You just wonder, I mean, there's Hughes again, painful there, and Vassell, you thought any minute now is he going to get knocked down for a penalty. Just could have shown a little bit more composure there. Hard angle to stick it in first touch, might have been better just taking a control and taking more care over the finish, but it does show the weakness of the lack of pace in the middle of Newcastle's defence.
Stephen Glass hung up towards Noel Solano. Foul by Barry on Bacedas. Here comes Hughes and Gomer again. Solano will deliver. Late winners in both our cup ties so far today in the third round for Manchester United and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Solano takes. Oh, well, he almost foxes all.
Tell you what, Alan Wright played a big part in that, didn't he? Big deflection. Little glance there, and if the keeper had been sneaking a little bit, he may have, I think it would have landed on top of the bar, but I mean, David James couldn't take that course.
James did really well. Solano again. James again. There are days when he just looks as if he'd never ever make another mistake in his life, David James. He just is such a fantastic athlete for a goalkeeper.
He's got every attribute in the game for it to be the top keeper, hasn't he? Maybe just that little bit of focus now and again. That's why you're always amazed when he comes for a cross and drops it, because he claims them. When he does claim them, he claims with such authority.
And Newcastle have had their last free kick. Here comes Villa's last from Staunton into Dublin, allowed to control it and set something up maybe. Nobody there, anywhere near him. Steve Stone, little isolated, nowhere anywhere near him, but he's got between the two defenders, but Steve Harper was alert. You want it to go on now, don't you? It's come to an end, and it's probably about right. Aston Villa led for much of the second half thanks to Steve Stone's goal 10 minutes in. 10 minutes from the end, Noel Solano got a lifesaver for Bobby Robson's team. They will return to Villa Park on Wednesday week, but for now the names of both Newcastle United and Aston Villa will go into the hat for the fourth round draw in a moment or two. It's finished 1-1 here at St James's Park.
Carlsberg don't do holidays. But if we did, they'd probably be the best holidays in the world.
At the Boots Opticians frame sale, even some designer frames are as little as half what you'd normally splash out.
Knowledge doesn't stand still. Your people need to learn the right skills at the right time. Train them online, and they could learn those skills anywhere and at any time. Let Cisco Systems help you discover all that's possible on the internet. Cisco Systems, empowering the internet generation.
Mum wants me to win the lottery. Dad hopes I meet a millionaire. I love what I've got. 2.5 bedrooms, a football pitch, works of art on the wall, and a car with a mind of its own. What more could anyone want?
It's not what you want, it's what you want to keep that makes insurance important. And Britain's largest insurer is Norwich Union. Together we're stronger. Norwich Union.
And they called it puppy love. Oh,
with Lycos, once you've found what you're looking for on the net, you can share it with a friend using Lycos' free SMS service.
and why I love her so.
What must it be like to accompany a world leader? To have a chauffeur at your service? To be wined and dined wherever you go? And to have the latest entertainment laid on for you as you travel non-stop to Dubai and onto over 50 destinations around the world? Well, now you can find out, because a world leader is now flying daily from Birmingham.
Shut up, please.
Well, this cup tie finished Newcastle United 1, Aston Villa 1. It was certainly a better second half, and Gary now has the goal scorers with him.
Steve, when you scored that first goal, presume you thought that was going to be it?
Well, I didn't think they caused me too many problems up until then, you know. But I thought once we scored the goal, we sort of sat back a little bit, sort of invited Newcastle onto us, and they probably deserved the goal in the end, to be honest. They had enough pressure, the crowd started sucking us back towards our own goal, and we didn't really create much after we scored the goal. I don't know why that is, but we're very disappointed, obviously, to have to take them back. But we're confident because we've played ever so well.
And it was some equaliser by Nobby, wasn't it?
Well, he's done fantastic. He's got a great strike on him. He nearly scored with a free kick about 10 minutes earlier, and it was no surprise when it dropped to him. He smashed it in because he's a good player.
You didn't have much time to think about that.
Yeah, I think we played in the first half. No, not so good. You know, and I think the second half we play better.
What about the goal you scored?
Yeah, good volley. I think I'm very lucky because it's many players from me. The ball passed over all the players.
So to the replay.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope we can win it.
All good wallies count, don't they? What did you make of it all then? I mean, it was a better second half, and justice was probably done.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I thought Villa were the better side, and it was amazing because Newcastle didn't seem to get anything going. They looked a bit ragged. I don't think Bobby would have been too happy. And then they scored the goal, a terrific goal. Then they looked like there was a different team. They're just confidence, that's all. And then they looked like they could have gone on and won it.
So did your old club blow it a little bit then, Villa, do you think?
Yeah, they never really hammered home their advantage. Once they scored, Steve Stone summed it all up perfectly. They sat back. Again, you know, I get frustrated watching them because I think there's so much more for them to come, you know. But it's disappointing for them. But I would still feel confident about them back at Villa Park.
David off, you see, after he'd set the goal up.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I thought he should have come off before that.
Did you?
I did. Yeah.
How early? He sets it up here. He controls it well. He sees him going around the back and just back-heels it beautifully. He comes inside, looks up, and he sees Stone is in there. And Warren Barton must have took his eye off him because he's lost him. And it's a terrific finish. And we were talking half-time about getting wing-backs forward. And there it is. He comes in at the back stick, and he's not going to stop him there.
This one, I mean, this was clipped into the box. They took a short free kick. It was half cleared. Terrific volley that is from Solano. You have to watch them all the way. It's gone through a ruck of bodies. Yeah. And you'll see from this angle,
Great
David
angle.
James
This sits up there, head down,
left with no chance.
Down. And it's a good finish. Yeah. Good finish.
As you'll gather, I'm quite interested in Ginola. I mean, what has he got to offer Aston Villa at the moment then? I mean, not that much today. He will have been disappointed, and frankly, I'm sure our viewers were disappointed expecting more from him.
I don't think... Terry mentioned it at the start of the show. The formation doesn't really suit him, but he's going to have to find a gear or two more, Des, because Villa are in the marketplace for another striker, and I feel if they find one, first player out of the team is going to be David.
Fancy either of these to win the cup this year?
Could do. I think Aston Villa are always going to be solid, and they'll always be difficult to beat. And as I said with Newcastle, there don't seem to be any halfway house. It's either they play poorly or they're excellent. And
there's no in between with them, is there?
No, at the moment, no.
No, it's quite extraordinary. Well, thank you very much for the moment. It's time very shortly for the draw for round 4. Let's give you a few of the numbers to look out for. Newcastle and Villa in that draw, of course. They're number 1. Arsenal, who just about squeaked through yesterday, they're number 7. Kingstonian, who had that terrific win at Southend, they're number 11. Dagenham and Redbridge had a terrific result against Charlton. They'll play again. They're number 14. Chelsea are number 16, the holders. Manchester United, 27. And Liverpool, 28. That's just some of them. So look out for those and your team. We join David Davis now at the FA headquarters.
Good evening and welcome to the FA's new home here in the heart of London. We've had a tremendous weekend of FA Cup football, I think you'll agree. Crowds were up, even though many of our bigger clubs played away, and plenty of heroes, of course, including those from Kingstonian and from Dagenham and Redbridge, who are represented in our usual audience of fans and football personalities. Welcome, too, to our FA Cup sponsors, AXA, and to our very special guests who'll make this 4th round draw. Amongst the victorious England cricket team, which recently returned in triumph from Pakistan, were some real football supporters. And we're delighted to welcome 2 of them to FA headquarters tonight. Please welcome Graham Thorpe and the England captain, Nasser Hussain. Now, Nasser, I think you're a Leeds supporter. Where did that come from?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I was when